Hello everyone, welcome to Fresh Perspective with me, Francois Esthuizen, and video 3 in this series where we tackle some interesting questions to help you reflect on your life and maybe find your passion, find direction, or just reassess where you are and where you are heading with your life. Also helps with your personal growth and development. So, if you are engaging with these questions, I really do encourage you to write down your answers. Write down the questions, write down your answers, or document them in some way. And or discuss them with someone close to you. Maybe your partner or a housemate or a friend. Discuss them with a person close to you or write them down, or both. So you can get the most out of them. Because it's really about engaging with your answers that's so powerful and helpful. The questions are there to help maybe direct your mind, change your perspective in the way you think about yourself and your life. But the answers are really where it's at in terms of what you'll gain from it. Okay, so let's get to it. As if you've been following this series, we already covered day 1 and day 2, or questions 1 to 10. So we will start here with day 3. This is what we've got here. So I'll zoom into each question on its own. So we tackle one at a time. Question number 11 is, during an average week, how much of your time is spent on doing things you dislike or that you feel waste your time? This is quite a hard one to do. It takes some effort to really think about your week and look at the things that you feel. I'm spending time there, but I don't like doing those things. Or it's actually, if I think about it, if I'm honest, it's wasting my time. So this is not like unconscious time wasting. What I mean is not like browsing on social media. This is like you are in the moment actively doing whatever that activity is, and you feel I dislike it or I feel like I'm wasting my time right this moment. For me, it's emails. Doesn't matter how important the emails are or who it's from or who I'm sending back to, it always feels like I'm wasting my time. Right, number 12 is, what are your top 5 prominent core values? Also a question to reflect on and spend some time on. I mean, I almost want to tell you all of these questions you can take on its own and spend a whole day just thinking about that specific question, or a whole journaling session or discussion around this question. So think about what your values are. And maybe it'll be good to just ask the question, what's a value? So a value is something that determines behavior. So whatever determines your behavior, that's your values. So some of them are quite obvious. So maybe you'll say honesty is a value. So you choose to be honest. You choose to not cheat or steal or anything like that, even if it's like you can get away with it. Like maybe they give you the wrong change at the till and you realize it. Giving that money back, that kind of honesty determines your behavior. But sometimes we are also not really conscious of our values. So value might also be people pleasing, because that determines behavior. It might not be something that we think of, so because usually we think about values as good things, moral things. But people pleasing might be a value because it determines your behavior. So write down your top 5 prominent core values, and maybe that helps you assess, do I like these, and how can I actually consciously create values that drive the behavior that I actually want in my life. Right, number 13, how do your life and work currently reflect those values? So once again, think about, after you've written them down, think about, can I see this in my life? So the ones I want, great. My example was honesty, but it might be creativity as the value drives behavior. Can I see that? Or maybe you've chosen this value, and now that you think about it, it's not really driving behavior and action in your life. Maybe it's being helpful or supportive or whatever. This is about looking at your life and does it reflect that. If it's something like people pleasing that I mentioned before, that drives behavior, you know, you look at your life and see how it actually does reflect in your everyday life, and what's the consequences. So you can see you can go a few levels deep on these questions to discover more about yourself and maybe identify specific areas that you might want to change, or you might want help with or guidance with. And it's not, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable at all to reflect on these kind of questions. I know we sometimes just want to ignore it and say, no, it's okay, I'm happy with the way things are. This is what growth means, going into the uncomfortable, going into areas where there's actually some adventure and challenge for growth. Okay, number 14, which of your which of your top values are you ignoring or not giving enough attention to? So now you see in those values, you see, okay, wait a minute. This is a value like creativity. I'm not really spending much time on this. I'm not paying attention to this, even though I'll list it as one of my top 5 values. And then a great way to address something like that is to structure your day, your week, your month in a way that actually allows you to give attention to that specific thing. One like that regarding creativity, I enjoy music as a creative outlet. So I have my bass guitar right there, so whenever I have a moment, I pick it up. Maybe I practice a song or a scale or something like that. So how can you structure your environment, like I've done here, or your time in a way that helps you actually pay more attention to a specific value? Okay, hopefully I've explained that well. I've got a little throat thing going on. Number 15, how are you currently living outside of your own integrity? So what does that mean, integrity? Usually we think about integrity as, I do what I say. And if I tell someone that I'll be there, I'll be there. If I tell someone I'm going to do something, I do it. Keeping our commitments. That's usually what we see as integrity. But integrity is also about keeping the promises you make to you. The promises you make to yourself. That's quite big, because we are constantly actually making promises to ourselves, little commitments to ourselves. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to start doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. What is that for you? And in which areas are you living outside of that integrity? Maybe up until now you weren't aware of how you make those little promises and commitments to yourself. You weren't really focused on that. But now that you are, look at that and see, okay, where am I actually living outside of my own integrity? I'm not keeping the promises I make to myself. All right, friends, I hope that's been helpful in terms of your own journey and development. Remember, if you want some input and guidance, would like to work with me more closely, go ahead and book your free consultation call, 45 minutes, to discuss your needs or your questions or what you actually want to achieve, and try and see if we can match that with my skills and what I can bring to the table, and then work together, or let me help you find someone that can actually address that specific challenge that you might have or need you have. Okay, so go ahead and book that free consultation call if you want to do that. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video where we'll be continuing with this series and tackle questions 16 to 20. All right, bye-bye.